If you don't believe you are the best, someone else will decide your worth for you. My dear friends, today I want to speak to the part of you that quietly wonders, am I enough? You may smile in public, succeed on paper, and still feel uncertain inside. You scroll, you compare, you doubt, and slowly, without realizing it, you start shrinking your own dreams, not because you lack talent, but because you stop believing in yourself. Belief is not arrogance, belief is alignment, and life rewards those who stand aligned with their inner truth. Let me take you on a journey. 9 steps, 9 lessons, so you don't just wish to be the best, you become it in the truest sense. Belief is the first permission you give yourself. Before the world opens its doors to you, you must first open the door within. Most people are not held back by lack of intelligence, lack of opportunity, or lack of resources. They are held back by one silent question that keeps repeating inside them, who am I to do this? And because they never answer that question with courage, they wait. They wait for approval, they wait for encouragement, they wait for someone else to say, yes, you are ready now, but life does not work that way. Confidence is not a reward you receive after success. Confidence is the price you pay before success. You must believe first, when nothing around you proves it yet. Think about this carefully. When a child learns to walk, they fall again and again. They do not stop and say, maybe walking is not for me. They do not compare themselves with other children and quit. Why? Because deep inside they already believe, I am meant to walk. That belief keeps them trying, falling, and standing up again. Somewhere along the way, as we grow older, we lose that innocence. We start asking permission from the world to be ourselves. But tell me something, who gave the world the authority to decide your worth? If you don't believe in yourself, you silently communicate to life that you are unsure of your own value. And life listens. Life always responds to the belief you hold inside. Believing you are the best does not mean you think you are superior to others. No, it means you respect the potential placed within you. It means you refuse to insult your own existence with doubt. You were not created by accident. There is intention behind your breath, meaning behind your struggle, and purpose behind your dreams. When you doubt yourself constantly, you are not being humble, you are being fearful. True humility is accepting that you have been given gifts and choosing to use them responsibly. Many people say, I will believe in myself once I succeed, but success says, I will come once you believe. Belief is a decision, not a feeling. Some days you will feel confident, many days you will not. But belief is choosing to move forward even when confidence is shaking. It is saying, I don't have all the answers, but I will take the next step anyway. Look at your life honestly. How many opportunities did you walk away from, not because you couldn't do it, but because you doubted yourself? How many times did fear disguise itself as logic? How many dreams did you delay because you were waiting to feel ready? Readiness does not come before action. Readiness comes because of action. The moment you tell yourself, I am capable of learning, I am capable of growing, I am capable of becoming better, something shifts inside you. Your posture changes, your energy changes, your effort changes. Belief gives you courage to start. And starting is what separates dreamers from builders. Even if you fail, belief protects your spirit. You don't collapse internally because you understand that failure is an event, not an identity. You don't say, I failed, therefore I am a failure. You say, I failed, therefore I learned. That mindset is born only from belief. When you truly believe in yourself, you stop begging life for validation. You stop chasing applause. You work quietly, you improve daily, you trust the process. And slowly, very slowly, life begins to reflect back what you believed all along. So today, Give yourself permission. Permission to try, permission to fail, permission to grow, permission to become, because the day you genuinely believe you are the best version of who you can become is the day your journey truly begins. The moment you start borrowing your self-worth from other people's opinions, you lose control over your inner peace. Your confidence becomes fragile because it is now in the hands of people who don't fully know your story, your struggle, or your intentions. From childhood, many of us were trained very subtly to look outward for validation. Good grades were rewarded, bad grades were questioned. Approval became addictive. Slowly, without realizing it, we learned to measure our value by reactions. Applause made us feel worthy, silence made us doubt ourselves. But here is the uncomfortable truth: the world is inconsistent. Some days it will cheer for you, other days it will ignore you. If your self-worth rises and falls with those reactions, you will live emotionally exhausted. There will always be someone doing better than you, faster than you, louder than you. And there will always be someone doing worse. Comparison has no finish line. Even when you win, you feel insecure because now you are afraid of losing. When you compare your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel, you are being unfair to yourself. You don't see their fears, their failures, their late nights of doubt. You only see the polished result, and you assume you are falling behind. But life is not a race. It is a journey of alignment. Your pace is not raw. Your path is not delayed. Your story is not inferior. When you stop comparing, something beautiful happens. You start listening to your own inner voice again. You stop asking, "Am I better than them?" And you start asking, "Am I better than yesterday?" That shift is powerful because growth is personal. What took someone else 5 years may take you 10%. What comes easily to others may require effort from you. That does not make you weak, it makes you human. Imagine a fish judging itself by how well it can climb a tree. Ridiculous, isn't it? Yet we do this to ourselves every day. We judge our worth using standards that were never meant for us. When you measure yourself against others, you forget your uniqueness. You forget that your combination of experiences, talents, values, and struggles has never existed before and will never exist again. You don't need to be ahead of anyone. You only need to be aligned with who you are becoming. The moment you stop competing, you start creating. The moment you stop comparing, you start concentrating. And concentration is where excellence is born. There is a quiet confidence that comes when you no longer need approval to move forward. You don't announce every plan, you don't explain every choice, you don't defend your pace, you simply keep walking. Some people will misunderstand you, some will doubt you, some will project their fears onto you. Let them. Their opinions are reflections of their mindset, not measurements of your worth. If you allow external voices to define you, you will live reacting instead of leading. True self-belief comes when you decide, "I will not outsource my value. I will listen, I will learn, but I will not let opinions imprison me." And here is something very important. When you stop comparing, you also stop resenting. You genuinely start celebrating others' success because you are no longer threatened by it. You understand that someone else's win does not cancel your destiny. The heart becomes lighter. The mind becomes clearer. The journey becomes joyful. Life was never meant to be lived as a competition. It was meant to be lived as a contribution. So detach your worth from likes, comments, rankings, and applause. Anchor it instead in effort, integrity, and growth. When your self-worth comes from within, no criticism can break you, and no praise can inflate you. You become steady, grounded, free, and that freedom allows you to rise. Not faster than others, but truer to yourself. There is a romantic idea that believing in yourself is about feeling confident all the time. But real belief is much quieter, much stronger. Real belief shows itself not in what you say, but in what you do when nobody is watching. Discipline is self-belief in action. Anyone can feel motivated when things are going well. Anyone can feel inspired after watching a speech or hearing a song. But what happens the next morning? What happens when the alarm rings and your mind gives you reasons to delay? What happens when no one is clapping, no one is checking, no one is pushing? That is where belief is tested. If you truly believe in your future, you will protect it with discipline. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. It is saying no to comfort, not because comfort is bad, but because your calling is greater. Many people say, I believe in myself, but their habits say otherwise. Their routine contradicts their dreams. Their actions cancel their intentions. Belief without discipline is wishful thinking. When you consistently show up for yourself, something very powerful happens. You start trusting yourself. And trust in yourself is the foundation of confidence. You no longer need external motivation because your system is already aligned. Discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect. When you wake up early to work on your goals, you are telling yourself you matter. When you keep promises to yourself, even small ones, you build inner strength. When you stay committed during difficult days, you develop character. And character is what sustains success when excitement fades. Most people quit not because the journey is impossible, but because they expected it to be easy. They thought belief alone would carry them. But belief needs structure. It needs routine. It needs consistency. Think of discipline like a bridge. Faith shows you the destination. Discipline helps you walk toward it. There will be days when you feel tired, days when you feel uninspired, days when self-doubt returns. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel, it asks who you are becoming. And every time you choose effort over excuses, your belief grows stronger. You don't need to do extraordinary things every day. You need to do ordinary things consistently. That consistency compounds quietly, like interest in a bank account. One day you look back and realize you are not the same person anymore. Discipline also protects you from regret. Many people carry the weight of if only I had started earlier, if only I had stayed consistent, if only I had trusted myself enough to commit. Discipline removes those regrets. It allows you to say, I gave my best with what I had, and that gives peace. Understand this clearly. Discipline does not limit freedom. Discipline creates freedom, the freedom to choose your future instead of reacting to circumstances, the freedom to grow instead of staying stuck. People who lack discipline are constantly negotiating with themselves. People who have discipline have already decided. You don't need to feel like doing it. You need to do it because it aligns with who you want to become. And slowly, very slowly, your identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You start seeing yourself as someone who finishes. That is real belief, not loud, not dramatic, but unbreakable. When belief becomes discipline, success stops being a dream and starts becoming inevitable. One of the greatest reasons people stop believing in themselves is not lack of ability, but a painful misunderstanding of failure. We grow up thinking that failure is a verdict, something that defines us forever. And the moment we experience it, we quietly start stepping back, shrinking our expectations, lowering our standards, and telling ourselves, maybe this is not meant for me. But failure was never sent to destroy you. It was sent to shape you. Every meaningful life carries scars, not because the person was weak, but because they were brave enough to try. The problem is not failing. The problem is interpreting failure as proof that you are incapable. Failure is an event, not an identity. When a potter shapes clay, the clay is pressed, stretched, sometimes even broken and reshaped. If the clay could speak, it might say, "Why is this happening to me?" But the potter knows this pressure is what creates usefulness. Life works the same way. Some doors close not because you are unworthy, but because you are being redirected. Some dreams fall apart not because they were wrong, but because they were incomplete. Failure refines your vision. It removes illusion. It teaches humility. It sharpens discernment. It shows you where effort is required and where ego needs to be softened. People who have never failed often lack depth. They lack compassion. They lack resilience. Success without failure creates fragile confidence. Failure builds unshakable strength. Think about this. When you fall, you learn how to stand properly. And you lose, you learn how to value. When things don't go your way, you learn patience. Failure introduces you to yourself. It reveals how you respond when control is taken away. Do you become bitter or do you become better? Do you give up or do you grow up? Most people quit too early. They see resistance and assume rejection. They see struggle and assume incompetence. But what if struggle is simply the training ground? Gold is not purified by applause, it is purified by fire. If everything in life came easily, you would remain shallow, comfortable but unfulfilled. Strong roots grow only when the wind challenges the tree. Failure also teaches surrender. It reminds you that you are not in full control. And that's not a weakness, that's wisdom. When effort meets surrender, life begins to cooperate in unexpected ways. Some of the most important lessons in life arrive disguised as setbacks. They slow you down so you can realign. They humble you so you can listen. They break you open so light can enter. Do not rush to escape failure. Sit with it. Learn from it. Let it mature you. Ask better questions. Not why me, but what now? Not what did I lose, but what did I learn? Not am I good enough, but how can I grow from this? When you see failure as feedback, your self-belief returns stronger than before. You no longer fear falling because you trust your ability to rise wiser. And that is powerful. Life does not disqualify people for failing. Life disqualifies people for eating. You don't need a perfect past to create a meaningful future. You need courage, reflection, and patience. So if you have fallen, good. It means you tried. If you are hurting, good. It means you cared. If you are unsure, good. It means you are growing. Let failure refine you, not define you. Because when you rise again, you don't rise the same. You rise stronger, clearer, and more grounded than before. As belief grows and success begins to show its first signs, there is a very subtle danger that appears on the path. It doesn't come loudly, it comes quietly. It whispers, "I did this on my own." And if we are not careful, that whisper slowly turns into arrogance. Humility is what protects greatness. Believing you are the best does not mean you think you are better than others. That is not confidence, that is insecurity wearing a mask. True confidence is calm. It does not need comparison. It does not need to announce itself. It simply exists. The more capable you become, the more grounded you must remain. Why? Because life has a strange way of teaching lessons to those who forget this balance. Talent can take you up quickly, but only humility allows you to stay there. Skill can open doors, but character keeps them open. When humility is missing, learning stops. When learning stops, growth ends. Many people fall not at the beginning of their journey, but at the peak. Success intoxicates them. They stop listening, they stop reflecting, they stop thanking, and slowly what once lifted them starts slipping away. Humility is remembering that your success is supported by many unseen forces: teachers, family, timing, grace, opportunities you didn't create but received. When you acknowledge this, gratitude naturally follows. Gratitude keeps your heart soft. A soft heart does not mean a weak mind, it means a teachable spirit. Even when you are skilled, even when you are admired, and people praise you, humility reminds you that there is always more to learn, more to refine, more to understand. The truly great people never feel finished. They ask questions, they listen deeply, they credit others generously. And because of this, life keeps trusting them with more responsibility. Humility also protects relationships. Arrogance isolates, humility connects. No one enjoys being around someone who constantly needs to prove their worth. But people are naturally drawn to those who are confident yet kind, capable yet respectful. When humility walks with belief, your presence becomes powerful without being heavy. Understand this: believing you are the best means you commit to becoming better, not superior. It means you focus on excellence, not ego. It means you compete with yesterday's version of yourself, not with others. It means your standards are high, but your attitude is gentle. Humility also gives you emotional resilience. Praise doesn't inflate you. Criticism doesn't destroy you. You stay centered, balanced, grounded. That stability is rare. In a world where everyone is shouting to be seen, humility gives you the strength to stay authentic. You don't chase validation. You don't fear obscurity. You trust that what is meant for you will find you. And here is something very important. Humility does not mean underestimating yourself. It means accurately understanding yourself. Knowing your strengths without arrogance. Acknowledging your weaknesses without shame. That honesty creates inner peace. When belief and humility walk together, success becomes sustainable. You don't burn out trying to impress. You don't collapse under pressure. You grow steadily, patiently, with dignity. Life does not reward loudness for long. It rewards depth. So as you rise, stay rooted. As you achieve, stay grateful. As you grow, stay teachable. Because the higher you climb, the more important it becomes to remain grounded. And those who learn this early do not just succeed in life, they become worthy of the success they receive. There comes a point in life when you realize that achievement alone does not fulfill the heart. You can reach goals, collect titles, and still feel an emptiness you can't explain. That emptiness is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that life is asking you to look beyond yourself. True fulfillment begins when life becomes about contribution. When everything revolves around me, life feels heavy. There is constant pressure to perform, to prove, to protect your image. But the moment your focus shifts towards serving others, something inside you relaxes. Purpose replaces pressure. Service gives meaning to belief. When you believe in yourself, the natural next step is to use that belief for something greater than personal gain. Otherwise, confidence turns inward and becomes hollow. You don't need a big platform to serve. You need a willing heart. Sometimes service is listening when someone feels unheard. Sometimes it is guiding someone who feels lost. Sometimes it is simply showing kindness when it would be easier to remain indifferent. Service grounds you. It reminds you that life is not only about how far you go, but about how many you lift along the way. People who serve don't constantly ask, "What will I get?" They ask, "What can I give?" And life has a strange law. Those who give meaning find success chasing them, not the other way around. Service also protects you from ego. When you help others grow, you remember that everyone is fighting a battle you cannot see. Compassion deepens, judgment softens, perspective expands. And in that space, real wisdom develops. There is a joy that comes from contribution that no achievement can replace. It is quiet, steady, and lasting. It does not depend on applause. It does not disappear with failure. It stays. Service also strengthens belief. When you see the impact of your effort on someone else's life, you realize your presence matters, your actions matter, your existence carries weight. That awareness is powerful. Even in moments when you feel lost, service gives direction. Even in moments when you feel broken, service gives healing. When you help others rise, your own spirit rises with them. And here is something important. Service does not mean self-neglect. It means balance. You grow and you give. You learn and you share. You succeed and you support. The most respected people are not those who demand attention, but those who leave a positive trace wherever they go. Service also builds legacy. Success fades, titles expire, but impact lives on in hearts and actions passed forward. When belief becomes service, it matures. It moves from self-centered confidence to purpose-driven strength. You stop asking, "How can I shine?" and start asking, "How can I help?" And in doing so, you shine naturally. Life is not impressed by how much you know. Life is moved by how much you care. So serve with sincerity. Give without keeping score. Help without needing recognition. Because the moment your belief becomes a blessing to others, it becomes unstoppable. As belief matures and service becomes natural, another quiet strength begins to form: silence. Not the silence of fear, but the silence of focus. The silence of someone who no longer needs to explain themselves to the world. Silence builds power. In the beginning, we talk a lot. We share our plans, our goals, our dreams. Not because we are wrong, but because we are unsure. We want reassurance. We want encouragement. We want someone to say, "Yes, you can do it." But as belief becomes stronger, words become fewer. You start realizing that not everyone needs access to your inner world. Not everyone deserves a seat at the table of your dreams. Some people listen not to support, but to judge. Some hear not to understand, but to compare. Silence protects your energy. When you announce every plan, you invite opinions before results. And opinions, even well-meaning ones, can dilute focus. They plant doubt, they create pressure, they shift your attention outward. Silence allows growth without interference. Think of a seed underground. It does not announce its progress. It grows quietly, patiently, invisibly. If you dig it up every day to check, it will never become a tree. Your dreams need the same privacy. Silence also sharpens discipline. When no one knows what you are working on, you stop performing for praise. You start working for purpose. The effort becomes honest, pure, grounded. There is also a deep confidence in silence. You no longer feel the urge to prove. You trust that results will speak louder than explanations, and they always do. People who move in silence are not hiding. They are building. They are refining. They are preparing. They understand that visibility without stability is dangerous. Silence helps you listen to yourself, to life, to intuition. In a noisy world, the most valuable skill is inner stillness. When you are quiet inside, decisions become clearer. You stop reacting emotionally. You respond consciously, silent. E does not mean isolation. It means intention. You choose carefully what to share, when to share, and with whom to share. That discernment comes with maturity. As belief grows, you also realize that not everyone will understand your journey, and that is okay. Understanding is not a requirement for progress. Silence frees you from the need to be understood. It also builds resilience. When you stop depending on external validation, setbacks don't break you as easily. You are no longer shaken by opinions because you are rooted in purpose. And here is something very important. Silence does not mean inaction. It often hides the deepest work. Quiet mornings, consistent effort, unseen discipline, silent faith, this is where transformation happens. The loudest success stories are often built in the quietest seasons. So don't rush to announce. Don't rush to explain. Don't rush to prove. Let your growth be quiet. Let your discipline be steady. Let your results be undeniable. Because when you finally speak, life will already be listening. You are not here by accident. Your breath is not random. Your struggle is not wasted. When you believe in yourself, walk with discipline, stay humble in success, learn from failure, serve others, and trust the silence, you align with something far greater than your fear. Do your part sincerely, work honestly, grow patiently, and then surrender the outcome, because life is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be faithful to your effort. When you stop doubting your worth and start honoring your responsibility, doors open in ways logic cannot explain. What is meant for you will never pass you by. It may arrive late, it may arrive disguised, but it will arrive at the right time. So don't rush, don't compare, don't lose heart. Walk forward with courage in your actions and faith in your heart. And remember this, when you believe you are the best, not with ego, but with integrity and service, life doesn't just reward you with success, it rewards you with peace.